Watkins Glen, New York. This is one of the world's most challenging road courses. It'll put one of these sleek prototype machines through a 3 1/3 mile test of endurance beyond comprehension. This is the ultimate in GT racing, and the teams campaigning these cars must not only deal with the powerful turbocharged engines, but the highly sophisticated suspension systems and aerodynamics that allow a driver to charge America's most demanding road course at speeds approaching 200 miles an hour.
Hi, I'm Dave Bowman, and we're at the Glen, the historic Watkins Glen. And behind me is a pit wall that's been chipped by literally thousands of race-winning split-second pit stops. As you can see, the pits are just coming to life with the activity of the crews as they prepare the sleek GTP cars for today's competition. We're going to take you shoulder to shoulder with the BFGoodrich team, the hidden heroes of cars 67 and 68.
It's not unusual in GT racing for a team to campaign two cars with two separate crews that share the same facilities. In fact, it makes certain economic sense. But no two cars can ever be the same, particularly these hand-built, high-strung Porsche 962s, and especially when the crew members must set up each car specifically for the unique needs of their two co-drivers. All this on top of the pressures of a 500-kilometer race make for an interesting camaraderie in the pits. After all, there can be only one winner. Jim Busby, a veteran of international road racing, is the owner of the BFGoodrich team and the co-driver of car 67. Overseeing the crews of both cars is the team manager, Mike Colucci. New to the team this season, he is the man in charge. New Zealander Steve McNaughton is the crew chief of the 67 car. Friendly and professional, he works closely with his teammates. Mechanic Bob Hoare. And the fun-loving Alan McConaughey. On the 68 car, the quiet and intense Englishman Phil Walters is the crew chief. He supervises his Australian teammate, former driver turned mechanic, Peter Scott, and the hard-working Ken Laybourne. On the starting grid, the crew chiefs share a final quiet moment with their lead-off driver. After more than a week of preparation, the time has come to release control. For the crew, the race will be run behind a 12-inch thick concrete wall. Early in the race, the 67 car takes the lead, driven by Jochen Mass, who in his homeland of Germany drives for the Porsche factory team. From within the cockpit of the 67 car, the road comes up at a frightening rate, and communication with the crew chief can be important. As the car passes by, Bob looks tense, watching for the unknown. The beginning of the race is always like that for him, despite the fact that both teams had 2 good days of practice and qualifying, during which they could fine-tune the car's suspension. Though the weather was wet, they were able to get the car to handle the way Moss and Busby wanted it.
We'll have our basic setup, and then we'll go from our tire temperatures from there. And what our tires tell us, what the driver tells us, you know. But we'll deviate a little bit. But what we always try to do is keep to our basics so that we don't get lost as to going in too many different directions at that one time. So we might try a different camber on it. We might try little toe in, maybe no toe in. You see, but we always want to do one thing at a time to make a change.
you're racing sports car racing, you know, or the drivers know, that they've got to come to a compromise between the two driving styles, just to get the best out of the car, but compromise in the style of driving to keep the car balanced evenly. So you might get one driver who'll do maybe the main setting up of the car. Then you put the other driver in and see what information he's got to offer. Talk it over between the two of them, and you might take something out of the car for one driver and put something else in for another, and balance it between them that way. You really need to build sort of a neutral feel into the car, so he's got neither oversteer nor understeer, that he's going to be fighting with the car all the time. That's going to tire him out, and also it's going to wear the car out.
Now the number 14 Lowenbrow car, driven by Al Hobart, who has dominated